Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Thursday, the 12th of September. Well, I'm going to get straight into it and I'll explain the selections. So basically, what I've done is I've spent a fiver. It's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, and 25 pence each way singles. So the first selection is Scatterpenny at 11 to 1 in the 150 at Doncaster, paying 6 places instead of 4. I think it's a decent price, although I say a decent price. It's a bigger price currently on Bet365, but I've taken the price just for cash out reasons anyway. I think this horse stands out a lot more than a lot of the other horses. One thing I do look for in when picking selections where I think they are above their handicap mark is I look at the Racing Post rating. So it's always tricky in nurseries because horses can just run 3 times and then improve massively because the conditions have been against them all 3 times, or it's just because they're 2-year-olds and they can improve massively from run to run, or when trainers want them to. Oops. Anyway, so at Doncaster, I do believe on the straight course, there's been a fair amount of rain, but it's classed as good ground. I do believe that they will be more situated in the middle of the course and the far side, and that is generally low numbers. I looked at the meeting last year, and I do follow the meeting in general, but it was soft ground last year, and in one of the races they favoured the far side. This isn't soft ground, but what I think is there's been plenty of rain, and it's gradually drying out, and I do think they will head towards the far side. I can't really explain much more than that because that's the only logic I've really used. When there has been some rain, I do tend to normally go for the far side, and it is normally far side to middle. Anyway, I'm going to stop rabbiting on now. Anyway, this Scatterpenny, it ran well on its debut, or it won comfortably on its debut, and then, in fact, anyways. Anyway, it's been a while since I picked this. The second run that's it. So the first run it did win, because the second run it carried a penalty and it still won, and it won quite well. It's achieved a Racing Post rating of, I believe, 87. Well, unlike a lot of these horses, this horse has actually ran above. So it's achieved a Racing Post rating above its handicap mark, which shows there's still a lot more potential, and its actually handicap mark is on the lower side. So its last run was eye-catching because it ran at York and it got lost in traffic. Basically, it got shuffled back, and then similar to the horse that I backed when it ran at Redcar that time, same kind of commentary. So at Redcar, when I backed that horse and it won at 40s, subsequently at York. Well, this horse ran at York, similar kind of run style. It got lost. It stayed on when the race was over and ran a decent race. Well, this one, this is basically it. So this one ran at York and got left behind. I don't. God, I'm really losing. Sorry, I've got a lot of things on my mind at the moment. This horse ran much better than its form suggests, and I do believe at 10 or 11 to 1 in a race that's I believe it's 28 grand to the winner. The Easterbies aren't going to be wanting to leave this money behind, and I think this has got a cracking chance. The second selection is Grateful in the 335 at Doncaster, paying 4 places instead of 3. I tipped this horse at Doncaster, and the ground was rock hard. It was way too quick for it. Well, as I said, it's rain softened, and it's actually good. I think it's genuine good ground. It might gradually the ground might gradually speed up a bit. Quicken? I'm really lost. The ground will gradually get faster heading towards the weekend because they've got dry weather. But I do believe it's slow enough for Grateful to run a better race. It did run a decent race at Goodwood, but as it got into contention, it just flattened out slightly, and it was in the middle of the course, and I just don't think it really ran its race, although it did achieve its highest Racing Post rating so far. The next selection is Golden West at 28 to 1 in the 10 past 4 at Doncaster, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse is gradually progressing. It's actually the outsider of the lot. That's why I've actually had these each way singles, because I think some of them could run very good races. I do believe this shouldn't be the outsider of the lot, but I do, in my opinion, it should be a fraction. I would have preferred 33s or 40s to really seem like I've got value, because I'm not saying this horse is going to be like gambled in. I just think I've not got massive value at 28 to 1. I was expecting a bigger price. I didn't see what price it was on Bet365, but I do believe this horse, trained by Colberg, ridden by, I think it's Pierre-Louis Jamin, at the beginning part of this year, like springtime, it was running quite well, and then it I think it had a wind or gelding operation, and it's gradually on the way back. And I think I do think this horse can just run better. It's outside a lot, so it's probably not going to. But I just think there could be a bit of value had in taking a big price about it. There's a few question marks over quite a few other runners. And finally, a bit more crystal clear, Percy Shelley at 9 to 1 in the 550 at Doncaster, paying 5 places instead of 3. This horse, I do believe, would like slower ground, although I think the ground is fine for it. There's so many question marks over a lot of the other horses. I mean, loads of them. There's so many horses that haven't achieved the handicap mark, as in like their racing post rating has never been above their handicap mark. And this horse, it could well be. Could it be going for the November handicap? I don't know. Could well be. But I do believe it will run well in this race. There's so many question marks over some of the others. And if you don't like my selection, there is another one that I like the look of, but I haven't backed it, and that horse is Graphite. It's another one at a decent price where I think it had a wind operation through. It's had 2 runs since a wind operation. It's heading back in the right direction. It's also ran well at Doncaster in the past. I was literally 50-50 with them 2 horses. So Percy Shelley at 9 to 1 and Graphite. In the end, I plumped for the more obvious selection, which is Percy Shelley, because I think it's more likely to run its race. So there's some okay racing coming. I don't think it's the best on Saturday, but the Doncaster meeting, I think it goes right through till Sunday. So so I think they cover some quite decent fields, and I'll keep an eye on the weather. I do think it's drying up, but as I said, I'll keep an eye on it. So if you can give me a like or a subscribe, I apologise for the mess of the probably halfway through the video, but anyway, the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.